Yay. So welcome, Michelle. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, Jane, I'm so grateful to be here and to talk with you today. Well, I call myself a style and self-love expert. I'm a master style coach, and I think just my entire journey has been about self-love and, using clothing as a tool, as a vehicle to learn to love myself and to really show up as the woman I'm meant to be in the world. And so now that's what we do with our clients is help our clients understand who they are authentically and show up in a way that's powerful, that helps them to connect the inside to the outside.
I love that. I've been a personal trainer for 14 years, and I
Mm.
always used to be from the outside in, but at the same time, I always used to tell them to speak kindly to themselves. And I didn't realize that I was coaching them self-love back then. It just came
Mm.
naturally and just was what I wanted to say to them. And then now I say I do it from the outside, from the inside out. So I used to be outside in, and now I'm inside out. And when you start loving from the inside out, then the outside is a byproduct of all the love you give yourself. You are going to lose weight or feel healthier and look better because of that. So it's so interesting to go from the outside in, and now I'm like from the inside out, but you learn as you go. And I think it's something that you only learn as you evolve as a person yourself. So
Yes.
yeah, it's so nice to be able to do it from the outside in with clothes, and not about how you look weight wise. It's about how you can style yourself as well. So I'm so happy that I'm so happy I
Sure.
found you, because you're also the first person I've had on the show to talk about this kind of topic, which is so special
Well,
too.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I have a lot of great synergy. We
Yes.
just have different ways of doing it, of
Yeah.
doing what we do.
Yay. I'm so excited. So tell me, what does self-love mean to you?
Mm. Well, that has been a really part of my lifelong journey. And I think what it really means is learning to, well, love yourself, honor yourself, trust yourself. And I think when it comes down to it, to make how I feel about myself more important than what anybody else thinks about me.
Yes. I love that. I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. What little self-love practices do you do each day?
I have a lot. I have, as I mentioned, it's been an entire journey for me. And I went from, making myself wrong and so being so focused on what I thought everybody else thought about me, which, it's never right. Right. And so really just turning the focus inward to ask myself, what's right for me? What's going to make me feel good? And I think because I'm a highly sensitive person and I'm an empath, and what I have learned is that, learning to love myself and then taking care of myself as a highly sensitive empath who, I've struggled with adrenal fatigue and some other things, that self-care, self-love has become critical. And it's kind of a joke between my husband and I because he's just like, go, 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 work, work, work. He's not a self-care person. He's not all about, he's wired very differently.
Mm.
But he knows, and he's like, okay, I know that you need to take a break and go get a massage, or it's time for you to eat or whatever. So some of the things that I've incorporated into my routine, I think it's something that I've had to make a daily practice, right?
Mm.
And so when I get up in the morning, I have my morning routine that I look forward to. I drink this beautiful tea that I love and I look forward to every morning, and make a really good healthy breakfast. I take my supplements, I do some reading. That for me is so much about self-love because it's really about honoring what do I want to do today. So I have my morning routine, but then I listen to myself, well, I really want to do this today. And maybe I'll read a different book, or maybe I'll light a candle, or maybe I'll do something. But I think for me, it's the daily practice of surrounding myself with beauty, with doing things that honor where I am in the moment. There's some days where I'm feeling a little bit more stressed or a little bit more anxious, or like, okay, I've been too busy this week and I just need to take a day and just be. Like yesterday, I had a lot of stuff on my to-do list. And I said, you know what? I really need to clean my office because I need to be surrounded by beauty. And if I feel like my office is a mess, then I'm not productive and I'm not functional. So I did that. I took that time and I put some flowers. I don't know if you can see my pink roses back there. But I put some flowers in my office and did some things that really made me feel happy.
Mm.
And today, I think dressing, wearing things that I love. I mean, every day I get up and I get dressed, and most days I put myself together and do my hair and makeup. But some days, when I get up and really ask myself, and this is something that I recommend my clients, is like really setting your intention for how you want to feel that day. And like this morning, I woke up, it's a dreary day, but I'm going to have lunch with a friend and I've got some things to look forward to. And I thought, you know what? I want to be happy. And I'll throw out one of the hot spring trends is what's called dopamine dressing, which is like mixing and matching and wearing vibrant colors and things that make you happy. I'm like, hey, I need some dopamine dressing today.
I love that.
So I got in my closet, pulled out some bright colors that I thought would look good on camera, but also would really make me feel more like myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wear my favorite boots. So I think for me, it can be as simple as just surrounding myself with beauty, wearing things that make me feel more like myself or that can elevate my mood, lighting candles, spending time with a friend, curling up on the couch with a good book and a great cup of tea. It can be super simple. The other thing for me is nature. I don't know about you, but I need time in nature.
I'm the same.
And that makes such a difference.
And I'm such a, I go between like the water is very good for me because in my astrology, I don't have any water in my chart. So I'm like fire.
Wow.
So I need water. So I need to like be around water. So we live near the beach about 7 minutes away, drive, and I can see it from my house. So at least I can see it.
I'm jealous.
But I also love leafy. There's a place here in KZN or in Durban, so in the Midlands, and it's just like foresty, and it's just so peaceful. And that for me, I can literally arrive there and I can just start breathing, and just I think it's because it just grounds me and I feel so grounded and calm.
Yes.
So I'm like, I go between the two. I love being able to see the beach, but I feel like I've become more of like a mountainy person. And nature for me also, it feels so calming. I think that's also the thing. It just calms us, and that allows you to then also think. I was going to say about your clutter, like office clutter and things like that. I have a monthly self-love club, and our theme this month is decluttering your life. And like when you have that clutter around you, it just makes your mind cluttered as well. And then you can't be like as productive as you want, either. So it's nice to just start off with a clear desk, clear and happy, and bringing the color. And look, you're matching your jacket with your roses, and it just looks so cheery.
I didn't even mean to match my office.
Yeah, you do now. It looks so good.
Oh.
And also what you're saying about dressing. Our topic last month was all about the self-worth cycle. So it's so nice because each month, like I learn a lot as well when I'm doing the research. And I think also with self-love, we always think that it has to be focused on one thing and like by yourself. But like you said, going and meeting a friend, that also makes you feel good. And leaning into anything that helps with reinforcing the worthy cycle, not the worthless cycle. And I think that clothing is so untapped for increasing self-worth that we don't think about it. For me, I've got a very long body. I know we haven't got into the fashion side of it yet, but let's just go for it. I've got a very long body. So when I wear like gym tops or tops and I let them flow down, they're at such a funny length that it makes me look bigger than I am. So I've started tucking them in the front, even if it's a gym top, into my leggings, and just kind of pulling it out a bit. So it gives me like that longer appearance, and it also shortens my body, or like my torso, and it makes me feel so much better about myself, especially in photos and videos. If I'm doing a yoga video, I saw one in January and I was like, I need to shorten that top because it doesn't actually make me look good for myself, and then it makes me feel bad about myself. So it's like reinforcing it. It was so interesting.
I can show you a quick hack for that.
Oh, is there a hack?
You want me to show you right now?
Yeah.
Actually, what I did today, I'll show you part of my outfit.
I love
Let me
it.
see if I can show it. So I'm on TikTok, and I actually just did a video on this. But what I did is, and it doesn't have to be a fancy belt. It could just be a piece of elastic. But take a piece of elastic and then tuck your top under it.
Oh my word.
And then just in front, and then you can do like a high-low in the back, and you can gather it, you can zhuzh it a little bit. but I'm seeing a lot of people do this. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a great trick. And so I tried it the other day. I'm like, oh my God, because I had on this tank top and it was long and it was a little bit longer and it was really full. In fact, the TikTok that I put up today, I show that, but it reins it in. And I think mentally, I own a clothing boutique and I've been a style coach for 14 years. And before that, I was a clothing designer. And so for many, many, many years, I have heard women come in and tell me, oh, I'm too fat and my body's this and my body's that and blah, 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 all the stuff. And then, my own story was about struggling with my weight and making myself too fat or wrong, or I wasn't, I didn't look the way I thought I should look. And so I think my journey has really been about unfolding for myself, discovering my own beauty and learning how to dress for my own body. And through that process, helping others to be able to say, here's the quick tip you need. Here's the color that's going to elevate you. Here's how to find your style so you feel more like yourself. It's never, I think we as women make it so complicated. And I think it brings us down and keeps us small because so many of us, we walk around comparing ourselves on Instagram. Oh my God, she looks better than I do, or I'm too fat to get on Instagram, or I'm in a frumpy zone. And when we're so busy comparing ourselves to other people, we're not seeing and celebrating our own beauty. And that's where the magic happens. But really with my own journey, it all started with the birth of my daughter. She's almost 19. And when I was 35, and so I spent 35, well, not entirely 35 years, but a lot of my years up until I was about 35, comparing myself to others, telling myself I was too fat, telling myself I wasn't good enough. And it wasn't anybody else saying that was me. I was my own worst enemy. And then when I had my daughter, all of that shifted. It shifted in such this beautiful way because I gained 50 pounds with her. I just took it as a license to eat. And I remember coming home from the hospital. Do you have kids, Jane?
I have a 2.5-year-old. So as soon as you said
Oh,
had a
yes.
child, I was like, it changes you.
It totally changes you. But I remember coming home from the hospital and I was nursing her and everybody said, oh, if you nurse, like you're going to burn calories, which I was going to nurse anyway. Like it wasn't about the calories, but I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to lose all this weight. It's just going to come off. That does not happen. And so when I came home, I was getting ready to take a shower and I was bracing myself because I used to look at myself in the mirror and pick myself apart. Well, I'm too fat and this is, ew, I've got this and I've got this jiggle and I've got that bulge. And I was getting ready to do that. And I just had this, I call it divine intervention. This no, you're not going there. What is something that you're grateful for? And I think for me, what shifted was the gratitude. And I wasn't in a place where I could automatically just look at my body and say, oh, I look beautiful. I was not there. And I think so many women get in that place. They're like, I should lose 20 pounds. So they can't see their own beauty right now. But when you can take steps. And so I started with gratitude. It really was about, well, I'm grateful that I did natural childbirth and I have 2 arms that I can hold her and that I can care for her and I'm strong and my body did this miracle, it's a miracle. I created a person. And so it started this whole gratitude cycle. And in that moment, I just had this feeling of I don't want her to pick up my issues. My issues are mine. And I want to resolve those so that I can be a good role model for her. That was really my motivation. I wanted to be a good role model for her and pave the way so she could be strong and capable and beautiful and amazing. And she's about to turn 19 and she's got some stuff she's going through right now, but in so many ways, she's so courageous and brave and strong and amazing. And I'm just, I'm proud of who she's become. And I have 2 stepdaughters now. So it's been great to be able to be in a place where I feel like I can be a good role model and I'm not letting my own stuff trip me up.
Yeah.
But I think, for women, I hear it every day. Women come in our boutique and they tell me, "Oh, I'm too fat and I need to do," and I'm like, you stop with the should.
Mm.
I think we get so caught up in the what we think we should feel or we should look like. And I think when we can get away with that and say, you know what, I'm okay. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then look at ourselves. It's like flipping the script, looking at ourselves in a different way. And instead of seeing the extra 20 pounds, you see, hey, my eyes are gorgeous. Let me wear my eye color and play that up. My hair looks great today. What can I wear to elevate my hair? I have great legs. Let me show my legs off, or my smile, or finding something, bringing light to the face and wearing great jewelry, and something that makes you happy is going to light you up. And then that's all people are going to see.
Yeah.
They're not going to be looking at you going, whoa, she needs to go on a diet. They're going to be looking at you going, whoa, she looks incredible. And they're going to tell you, and that's going to boost your self-esteem. And then it's just this cycle that keeps going.
Yeah. And also I feel like the comparison that you were saying, what I've noticed with women on Instagram, and I have friends that are going to listen to this and they know I'm talking about them, but it's always and it's exactly what you said about thinking who you should be or what you should look like. It's the apologizing on Instagram stories for the way they look. She's guilty and she's listening now, but it's my worst. It's just like, you don't need to apologize. Why are you apologizing for your face or for not having makeup on or this or that? I'm just like, you don't need to be wearing makeup all the time. And if you're coming on to talk and to tell us something, we don't expect you to have a full face of makeup on and to have perfect skin. And it's just this comparison where everyone's comparing, oh, but so-and-so does her stories and she's always perfectly done. And I'm like, but that's set up and it's not real because they have planned that ahead. You've just hopped on to say hello and to tell us something exciting, and your eyes, like you said, your eyes are shining. You've just told us this amazing thing that's happened to you, and you came on to tell us because you're so excited. And I did not notice the zits on your face. I was looking at your eyes sparkling and your excitement, and I was getting all excited too.
Yes. It's interesting because I feel like I've been going through just a phase recently where it's almost like I've been wearing less makeup and getting like today, this is the most dressed up I've been in a while. And I felt it. It wasn't that I felt like I should. It was like, I want to do something special today. But the past couple of days, I've been gravitating towards more comfortable clothing and less makeup and things that are a little bit more natural. But the irony in that is that what other people on Instagram want to see is who you are really. They want to see the zits. They want to see you with no makeup. They want to see who you really are and I think this is just kind of the downfall of Instagram. I love Instagram. I have a lot of fun on there, but the downfall of it is, everybody talks about being Insta worthy. And it's like, if you look at Instagram and you see, so all you see in your feed is women who have beautifully done airbrushed makeup and perfectly coiffed hair. They've just left the salon. And it's a whole, you could just easily walk away and feel like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even wash my hair today. I'm not good enough and go down that rabbit hole. But it was interesting. There was a coach I'm working with, and I was listening to her the other day, and I so relate to what she was saying. And I thought, and she said what she was saying is that she had a birthday party to go to, and that she typically, if she would go to this event, she would go get a blowout for her hair. But she preferred to take that time. She's like, you know what? I really want to meditate and I want to walk in nature. I'm like, girl, I get you. And so she showed up at this birthday party without the professional blowout. Did she have fun? Yes. Did anybody notice? I sincerely doubt it. And she showed up more relaxed, more fully present, because she took the time to honor herself. What she really wanted was not to sit in that chair and get the blowout. She really wanted to connect with nature. And I think that's a great way to show ourselves self-love, is to get away from it's like this perceived judgment. We perceive that there's somebody out there judging us because we didn't take a shower today, or we didn't put on our best clothes, or we didn't do our makeup. But the truth is, we're the only ones judging ourselves.
Everything I'm thinking in my head, you keep saying. It's so freaking but I love it.
We're very aligned. We're
I
on the same
know,
wavelength
so
today.
aligned. Everything you say, I'm like,
Yes.
no, 100%.
Mm.
And it is like we are our biggest critics and no one is noticing, and no one knows how you feel or how you think you should look. It's just the way that you carry yourself as well makes such a difference. I know I should be sitting up tall, but also this is also who I am, like sitting on the floor in my yoga pants.
Yeah.
But it's exactly that. And I think that this comparison game is just like, oh, it's draining as well. Also listening, there's some friends that just won't unfollow the toxic accounts, and I'm like, why? Especially if they're friends, just mute them. I'm like, mute their stories, mute their posts, and they don't know they don't think you've unfollowed them, but you have peace of mind and you can feel comfortable and you can feel calm, and you're not feeling like sister-in-law is trying to comment on your weight or whatever. You don't even have to see it and don't have to compare yourself. It's just so much more peaceful.
Yes. Yeah. We could go down the whole rabbit hole of comparison right now, but I think in so many ways, it's almost like we're brought up to compare ourselves to other people, whether we have a sister or with our friends. And I think, so many people talk about the patriarchy and the, just breeding that. But the thing is, when we're so busy comparing ourselves to other people, we're not focused on our brilliance and we're not getting our work out into the world. We're holding ourselves small. And we're making what we think other people think more important than what we think. Now, I read something the other day, and I think I saw it on Instagram, and it was a quote about, giving away your power. Essentially, what that means is making what other people think more important about you, making what other people think about you more important than what you think about yourself. I'm like, that's a powerful statement, but that's the essence of it. Like, and that's how I think I felt for many years when I was comparing myself. There were certain people I'd compare myself to, and I would want their approval. And I would want them to say, wow, you look great today, or you've lost weight. Or I think for me and my family, a lot of it centered around weight. Or your clothes look great, or you have a great new top, or you've got on the name brand shoes or whatever. At my age, I'm 54. I don't care. I don't care. And it's so interesting because I've had this debate with myself about certain things. I have one thing, as much as I'm into style, I've found that, well, in my opinion, fashion and style are almost polar opposites. Fashion is about keeping up with the trends, wearing what's hot, caring about the name brands. It's very fickle and it can be very superficial. Style is about who you are. It's about understanding who you are on the inside and expressing that in an authentic way on the outside, whether it's being covered in designer brands or going to Goodwill, whatever it is. Like, that's who you are authentically. Everybody has style. Not everybody has tapped into it, but everybody has a style. And I think when you can tap into it and ask yourself, what do I want to wear? What is the thing that I put on that makes me feel more like myself? And some days for me, that's a badass moto jacket and a great statement necklace and bold colors. Other days it's, my simple black top and a comfy pair of leggings and my moto boots, and it's no makeup. But I've just gotten to the point, it depends on what I have to, if I'm filming something, typically I'll put on a little bit of makeup, but not always. But I think, the older you get, your eyes, it makes it a little harder for your eyes to pop. But I think that, we just, as women, I think one of the best things we can do to love ourselves is to honor who we are. Stop with the shoulds, stop the comparison, and just ask ourselves openly, who do I want to be and how do I want to show up?
I love
because
that.
If we're looking outside of ourselves and we're comparing ourselves, we're keeping ourselves small and we're holding ourselves in this area of should. And it's never going to help us grow or elevate or reach our goals or, and that was me for years, for many years, until I woke up and was like, what the heck am I doing? But it was an evolution. And now, teaching women to dress for who they are, it's It's a game changer. It can be a game changer. I tell my clients, clothing is not the most important thing. Your style is not the most important thing, but it is a very important tool because we get dressed every day, right? And like you said, even if, when you put on that shirt that doesn't make you feel good, it's like it's a distraction. And you're in the back of your mind, you're like, the shirt, it just doesn't feel right. I've worn many things like that over the years. Just I've been very fashion forward and tried a lot of things. And I walk out the door, I'm like, oh, why did I wear that? But it's this like little thing that's holding us back. But what I tell clients is when you know what your style is when you dress with intention and you put on a great outfit, then you can forget about it. You can just get out there and be your best badass self in the world and show up like you mean it. And you're not focused on, oh, this jacket is too small. And is this giving me a muffin top? You're just focused on what you're doing and how you can serve. And so I think clothing is such a great tool to get out there and show up in a powerful way. Plus it helps with your personal branding. It helps you to be like with your pink, is it pink or magenta hair?
Yeah, it's like, I always say purple, it's actually magenta.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But things like that, like that's you expressing your style. And people will remember that. And they're going to, the right people will resonate with you because of it. Because you're being who you are. And then you're tying it into the pink top, which is great, which is what I would call your hair enhancer. Ooh. Now, if you had on a magenta top, that's really where the magic would happen.
I'm going to go shopping.
Yeah, bring some magenta in.
I love that. I'm going with you. So we've spoken a little bit about your self-love journey because we brought it in as we were speaking, but is there anything else you want to add about your self-love journey to get you to this point now?
Yeah. Well, I think so many people, there's so much of what I've read, it almost makes it sound like all you have to do is say some affirmations and boom, it's done. And it's not the case. And I think a lot of women, what I've found over the years is that women are, it's interesting because in our boutique, we have StyleFinder Boutique in Raleigh, North Carolina. We have affirmations on the wall. And they're in the I am beautiful, I am courageous, I am amazing, because I want women when they go into the dressing room to be mentally, as they read it, it's like they're saying that to themselves. What you say to yourself is super, super important. But if you're in a place where you are just feeling grungy and, maybe you've gained weight and you keep saying, hey, I should lose 30 pounds and I can't fit into any of my clothes, and you're just feeling bad about yourself, just saying I am beautiful, it's not going to sink in because you don't believe it yet.
Yeah.
You don't feel it yet. And so I think the missing piece, and the piece that for me made the biggest difference, was start with gratitude. If you truly cannot look in the mirror right now, and there's no judgment, if you can't look in the mirror right now and say, wow, I got great skin, or my hair looks good, or I love my upper body because I've been working out, or I love my belly because it's curvy and rounded and beautiful. If you're not there yet, what can you appreciate about yourself? Are you a good friend? Are you a good mother? Did you do something to help somebody today? Could you make a difference in someone's life? Start there. And I think when you can start with appreciation and then work your way up, it's like, Abraham Hicks talks about the, what is it? The ladder of the thought ladder, or the, whatever. It's like reaching for the better feeling, where you start where you are. And I think this is where a lot of women beat themselves up, because they can't say that about themselves yet. They're not up here. They're still down at the bottom. They're still beating themselves up, and they want to be at the top of the ladder, but they're not there. And they don't meet themselves there. They make themselves wrong for even being where they are. And it's a downward spiral. But I think when you can just stop and acknowledge, even if you can't take the judgment out of where you are right now, if you can just find one thing, there is one good thing you could say about yourself right now, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. And maybe it does have to relate to how you show up as a friend or a wife or a mother or a husband or a cousin, whatever. maybe it does have to relate to somebody else, and that is fine. But when you can acknowledge and start appreciating and finding gratitude for yourself, then you can get there. I brushed my child's hair today and I packed them a beautiful lunch and put a great note in there, and that's going to make them happy. And then I'm going to do this for my spouse today, and I did this, and just start there. And then slowly work your way up to, my hair looks great today. My skin looks great. What could I do to play my skin up? Or something like that. Or, hey, this color, I love color. Color is, in fact, I like to say that I'm on a mission to help women wear color with confidence.
I love
but
it.
Color is a powerful tool. And when you can put on a color that lights you up, then people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. And you're going to be like, oh, this old thing. And then when you get compliments, don't deflect them. Acknowledge the compliment. Let it sink in. I tell my clients the best thing you can say when somebody gives you a compliment is thank you. But I think so many women are like, oh yeah, no, oh, you look great. It's like we want to either pay it back or we just want to brush it off. But I found that it is truly powerful. When somebody gives you a compliment, it's like giving you a gift. And when you can receive that and feel that, you're honoring them. And you let that sink in, you're like, wow, okay, great. And then if you want to give them a compliment, great. But so many of us do it as a snap judgment, as just a reflex. Like, I can't accept a compliment without giving you a compliment as well. So, but so that's what I would recommend, is start where you are, meet yourself where you are with appreciation for something about yourself, and then work your way up to, I picked out a great outfit today and I feel amazing. Or find a feature, one of your best features to play up. It could be your feet, your hands, get your nails done, do your hair, do something to play your eyes up, or something that makes you feel great. And then when you can start there and then find some affirmations along the way that you want to be true for you. I am a beautiful, bold, badass woman, and I'm here to change the world. Or it could be super simple. I'm courageous. I am beautiful. But when you say it in the I am, put Post-it notes around. That's what I used to do. Put Post-it notes on my mirror, in my car, wherever. And every time you see it, it's like, I am beautiful. I am this. I am powerful. I'm amazing. I am successful. I am helping others. I am whatever your statements are. And just keep those as reminders, but just know if you're not there yet, meet yourself where you are. And that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, completely. And it's also not comparing and just allowing yourself to be where you are and being okay with that. I think that even with my new yoga clients, it's like, today you might not be able to do the same thing you did yesterday, but acknowledging that and allowing yourself to honor your body of what it needs today, and not trying to compare to yesterday, and just doing what you can. So
for sure.
So important.
I was in yoga on Monday night, and I usually go once a week for yoga, and I had skipped last week because we were out of town. And so this Monday when I went, I was like, oh, I'm not totally feeling it. I spent a lot of time in child's pose.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, I should be able to do this. I thought, you know what? It's all good. I just need to just be right now. Yeah. And I let myself do that without judgment. And I was fine with it. But it's taken me a few years to get to that point.
To be okay, because then you feel like, oh, if I'm going into child's pose, I feel like a failure, like I'm having to rest so much. But actually your body is asking for it, so it's important.
Yes.
So I love the conversation that we're having, and that's close. So I want to know, how did you get into styling? Like, how did this come about?
Well, I touched on it a little bit already, but 19 years ago when I gave birth to my daughter, well, I'll back up. I have a degree in what's called apparel arts. Oh. I've always loved design. When I was a little girl, I just remember this, thought one day, like, you're going to be a designer. That's your path. I'm like, okay. So I have a degree in apparel arts. I used to design clothing that we sold to boutiques around the country. And I also designed custom wedding gowns for years. And then, one thing led to another. I got pregnant and had my daughter. And then that was such a pivotal moment in my life, because when I went from beating myself up and having low self-esteem and struggling with weight and making myself wrong, then flipping that script, that for me was such a powerful time. And I didn't even realize it. I was like, what is happening? But not really realizing how big of an impact that was going to have on my life. It was just put one foot in front of the other, and one every day, start saying something positive to yourself, stop the negativity, start with some affirmations. And then I started dressing differently, because that's when I started to look at, okay, what colors light my hair up? What shapes play my legs up? Maybe I want to show up. I would find one thing about myself that I wanted to play up that day. And then my friends and neighbors started noticing and started asking me, hey, can you help me in my closet? Hey, can you take me shopping? And it was so funny because I remember sitting down one day doing some mind mapping. I was a beauty and style blogger at the time. And I thought, well, I could be an image consultant, which I call myself a style coach now. But my first thought was, no, I could do that, but I am not doing that. Well, guess what? The universe had other plans, because women started asking me, and I'm like, oh, like, I have found my calling. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I said, yes. I created a plan for getting some training and for starting working. I worked with 5 women, got into their closets, took them shopping, did their colors, learned all the things, and put it all together, and started my style coaching business in 2008.
Sure.
And that led me to, in 2015, my husband and I opened a boutique together. And our boutique, we've been working on combining the style coaching with the retail piece. And we have just introduced something that we call our Teal Box, which is essentially personal shopping. Unfortunately, it's only available in the States. Maybe one day we'll be able to ship internationally, but it's just available in the States. But we get on online with our clients, and we Zoom, and we find out what their needs are. And then we curate from our offerings. We'll curate a box or a lookbook for them, and then they place their orders. And so far, we've only been doing this for less than a month, and our clients have been loving it.
Amazing.
So that's
a good idea. And then you actually, because for you, it's like you double whammy. You're getting to work with them, but then you're also getting to use the pieces that are in your boutique, which you love, obviously, because you have them in your, boutique already.
Yes. Cool. Yes. And I do all the buying. So, when I'm buying, I have certain clients in mind. I'm like, oh, that's going to be great for this body type or whatever. And the demographic that we serve is women really 40 and up. We have women of all ages who shop with us, but we really target women 40 and up, because that's, I think, where a lot of the struggles happen. Your body starts to change. You don't recognize things anymore. You might have that, midriff middle, or what's the word? Midlife middle.
Yeah.
Which you're not there yet, but
I'm taking notes.
Yes. But I think that's where, so much, I'm not going to say things start to fall apart, because that's not the case. But I think what women 40 and up and 50 and up find is that there aren't a lot of choices out there for them that are targeted to them, that are telling them, here's how you can dress for who you are right now and where you are in your journey. And so I think they're comparing themselves to these, younger women, and thinking, well, I can't wear that. There must not be anything out there for me. I remember years ago, my mom and I, my mom's in her 70s, and she's always had amazing style. I feel like I've gotten so much of what I do from her. But I remember she threw a magazine across the room, and she's like, there is nothing in here I would wear. I don't know how to get dressed. I'm like, all right, let me help you. So I kind of took it upon myself. So every season I do a trends ebook. And in fact, I'm coming out with our spring trends ebook now that has like about the top 10 or so trends. And I call them like the top 10 most wearable trends. Because I don't know if you follow the fashion trends. There are a lot of things out there that you're like, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be wearing it that way.
Yeah. Fashion week. That's nice. That's all you're going to showcase. We're not going to wear that.
Right. I mean, it's beautiful, but so much about fashion is about fantasy, right? And it's about these, fantastical presentations, but real women look at that and we're like, what the heck? Like, how am I supposed to know how to get dressed? And so I take that and distill it down into, well, here's this color and this style, and this is how you can wear this. And, really try to help women understand, how do you keep your wardrobe current? Because I think that's important, and look polished and put together without feeling like you're trying too hard.
Yes. I think that's important as well, because then you feel like you're trying too hard when you're putting it together and you're like, I feel like this is not me. I think that's what happens as well. Is you feel like you're trying to keep doing the trends, but it's not actually who you are. So you feel so uncomfortable as well. You're like, oh, I don't think I should have tried that.
Yes. Yes. Well, I have my podcast, Style by Mary Michele. This week, or this whole month, I've been focused on episodes about helping everyone get ready for the spring trends. Like what to even think about when you're looking at the trends. What do you need to be doing in your closet now? And if you aren't a real trendy person, which a lot of women aren't, what can you focus on so that you feel like your wardrobe is current and you're up to speed?
Okay. I'm gonna link that in the show notes as well, so people can go and have a look at the episode. So I think it's important, and it's just nice to listen and to actually learn from a professional about these things as well. So now we know how you got into styling. What do you think? We've touched on, we're so conversational and so aligned that we've touched on most of our questions, like conversationally. So the correlation, what do you think the correlation is between self-love and styling?
So much. So much. I think, self-love is really honoring yourself. And to go back to what I said earlier, self-love is about making what you think about yourself more important than what other people think. And if that's the case, then styling is about asking yourself, well, what do I want to wear? It's not, well, here's what I feel like I should wear for Instagram, or here's what I feel like I should wear because I'm going to see a certain person, or trying to impress somebody else, or caring about what anybody else thinks, or, wearing something, keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know if you know what that means, but wearing something because you're trying to keep up with other people, or wearing name brands or something. When you can dress in a way that's authentic to who you are, that's where the magic happens. We have a whole style quiz on our website that gives you one style word, because so many women tell me, I don't know what my style is. So I actually created a whole system that I use with my private clients. And then we have a mini quiz on our website, but it will give you one of your style words. Like my primary style word, I'm dramatic. Like it's about, being unique and standing out and being seen. And it's just, it's just who you are. It's who I am. And when I talk about your shadow side, like when you're not honoring where you are, you're in your shadow side. Maybe you're hiding out, you're wearing things that are sloppy or frumpy, or just don't feel like you. But when you can honor who you are, I mean, that's really, I feel like I always say that's where the magic happens. But when you take who you are on the inside and then you express it in an outward way, what you wear tells the world who you are.
Yeah.
And I think when you can do that, that's when it becomes not about the clothes. It's about who you become when you wear the clothes. And that's the game changer. That's where you're like, oh, here's who I am, and I'm powerful, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to, change the world and make a difference for this person. You're not walking around going, hey, I've got on my liquid leather jacket. Did they notice? You're just like, I'm here to make stuff happen. And it's a whole different energy.
And the confidence just shines through, I think, as well, when you're wearing something that you actually feel amazing in.
Yes, for sure. And then that's going to just inspire other people. There's a great quote from Marianne Williamson, and something to the effect of, when you step into your light and you shine your light, you give others permission to shine theirs. And I think when you can show up being your badass self, then other people are going to be like, ooh, okay. It's like it's going to remind other people that's what they want for themselves. It's not going to look the same, but they want that same feeling. And they're going to be like, yeah, I want that. And so it's a ripple effect. It's not about comparing. It's about saying, I can be the best version of myself, and you can be the best version of yourself as well. And it's just about uncovering. And so everything we teach is about uncovering what's right for you. from your personal style, which is the inside, to dressing for your body type. We look at your face shape, your coloring, your personal scale. Not everybody's going to be able to wear a big statement necklace. And I think this is where comparison comes in too. You see a friend dressed in something and you think, well, I'm going to go out and wear the same thing. But then you put it on, you're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not as pretty as her, right? That's not the truth. The truth is that's not the right outfit for you. It's not the right color. Maybe the necklace is too big. Maybe the shapes are wrong because your body type's different. I do a lot of speaking. And when I do, typically I'll tell the women, look around the room. Everyone's coloring is different. I mean, look at our coloring. We're so different. And everybody's body type is different. Our face shapes are different. So why would we expect to be able to wear the same thing that another woman is wearing, who's built completely differently? I think for me, a lot of my initial interest in fashion, I used to think I was interested in fashion. Now I know it's style, but a lot of my initial interest in fashion came because, I'm tall. I used to be 5'10", not 5'10" anymore, but I'm tall. And the way I'm built, just the way I'm proportioned, sometimes finding clothes can be tricky because I have a short torso, I have long legs, I've got a wider rib cage. And I think that kind of put me on the path to learning about fit and finding my signature silhouettes and knowing what's going to work for my body. Because there have been many, many, many times where I felt like, oh, I should be able to wear this, and put something on and gave me a muffin top, or it just wasn't comfortable. And I made myself wear it. And that was awful. Then I'm just like, oh, I was so self-conscious and so focused on, what was going wrong, and not focused on, well, you know what, that's just not the right piece for me. There's something better.
Yeah, completely. I've tried to wear lots of things that don't suit me, and I'm like, so now I just give them away, and now I know better. I'm like, don't wear that because it doesn't actually, your body's too long. Like, it doesn't actually look good or feel good. I think that's also the key. It doesn't feel good. It's not going to make you feel confident and then radiate out. And I think that's the key, is to, like you said, find your signature silhouettes. Like, I found a dress now that I like, and I've actually had the same company, when they have a new print, I'm like, please, can you make me the same dress and that? And then I custom order it, and then I'm like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, that's great. I will keep wearing this dress. Can I get another one in the next print? Thank you. So it's like finding the length, and I think length is important as well with dresses, like when it wears chopping off, because not everyone can do T length or knee length, or have to find your fit. And it does, it makes you feel really important and really special as well when you get like special order and tailored stuff. And I think that also makes you feel good when you can find something that fits you and suits you, and then just order everything in that, like same color, like a new color, new style. Thank you. I think it definitely reinforces that worthiness instead of the unworthiness. I love it. Yeah.
Yes, we are all worthy of wearing clothing that fits and makes us feel amazing.
Definitely. So what is your favorite part of your job? I mean, you've told us, we know, we can see it lights you up. I mean, those watching on video can see it lights you up completely. But what is your favorite part?
Well, there's so many things I love that I do, but I think the thing I love the most is when a woman comes in and she's feeling frumpy. And this happens so much in the boutique. And it's so amazing to be able to see, she's feeling frumpy. She's gained weight. She doesn't know who she is anymore. And we help her uncover, excuse me, we help her find an outfit that's going to help her shine. And when she steps out of the fitting room and is like, this is me, it's like, oh, like the veil is lifted, the skies of the heavens have parted, and like it's like she has come home to herself. See, I mean, it's just amazing. And I know I'm being overly dramatic about it, but it's that incredible for me when a woman can see, I am beautiful. I can be beautiful. When they've been beating themselves up and making themselves wrong, we're like, oh no, we're not going there. We're not. Stop that negative self-talk and get your ass in the fitting room, because we're going to help you see what's good about you. But I think that's absolutely the most magical part, when a woman can start to see that she's great wherever she is, and see the beauty in that. That's the miracle. That's where the magic happens. It's not losing 20 pounds. It's not changing your hair color or coloring your roots or getting rid of your wrinkles. It's loving and accepting yourself where you are and dressing in a way that makes you feel more like yourself.
Completely. It's like being okay with where you are right now.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Love it. And you can see that you get so excited. I know I feel the same way when I get a message or something from a client, and I'm like, oh, and then you kind of just like so happy, but you can't explain it to other people because your friends don't get it. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
So tell us about your podcast so that we can all go listen. We've touched on it.
Yes. Well, it'll be a year in April that I started podcasting. And I'm so excited. I've talked about doing it forever. And I think after the pandemic, I was like, okay, I am just going to finally do this. And I think for me, I feel like podcasts saved my life during the pandemic. I really didn't listen to them much before then, but after the pandemic, I fell in love and I'm like, okay, I want to do this. And I just started, and I now have a podcast that drops every Tuesday and every Thursday. It's called Style by Mary Michele. And my goal, I have some episodes about confidence or about the Empowered Women's Toolbox, but primarily it's about style. There are some other things in there that, help women live a better life. It's all about being well-rounded. But I talk about everything from the 5 F's of shopping to, the mistakes you might be making in your closet to the 5 elements all women must know before getting dressed. In fact, that was my very first podcast, but I really try to keep it relevant and keep it current. And it's been so fascinating now to see that, to connect with listeners all over the world. I think I've got the US is my number 1 country, but I've got so many listeners in Australia. I'll have to check for South Africa.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's just been so amazing to know that, I'm sitting here in my office, and then, what I can share can make an impact, and then have women reach out and, just be able to work with clients all around the world has been fabulous.
It's amazing. It's one of the most, even when you're sitting talking by yourself, I feel like it's one of the most fulfilling things. I think maybe it's our personality as well, that we are loving to share knowledge and to try and inspire just one person out there, that it feels like you're making a difference, which is also special as well.
Yes.
I'm going to go download it now. I think I have already downloaded 1 or 2 episodes, but I'm literally going to go download all.
Yes.
Yeah, we must check the South African thing before we launch this, and then we'll see after and see how many new South Africans are listening.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And then any final thoughts that you'd like to share? We've said a lot.
Oh, well, I think just, I just would love, I think you touched on it a few minutes ago when you were talking about how you feel in your clothes. Years ago, I had a client who she called me in this desperate panic. She's like, Michele, you can't be in the fitting room with me, but what do I need to ask myself when I'm trying on clothes? And so I came up with, actually, I've got a whole podcast that I just mentioned, the 5 F's of shopping. Yeah. I created that for my friend Susan to kind of be her mental guide to knowing what to ask herself. But really, if there's only one question that you ask yourself when you're getting dressed or when you're in the fitting room, it's how does this make me feel when it's on your body? When I went through I did some sorting yesterday and went through cleaned out some drawers, and I'm just getting rid of stuff. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel good. That doesn't make me feel good. And I think, we just sometimes get on autopilot, and we're tolerating the leggings that might have a hole in them, or the bra that doesn't really fit, or that t-shirt that you're just kind of like, eh. But when you ask yourself, how does it make me feel? Does it light me up? Does it make me feel like $1 million? I interviewed someone for my podcast one time, and she said, if it doesn't make you feel like $1 million, it is not worth having. And I think a lot of women get hung up on, well, I paid too much for it or whatever. Who cares? It is taking away from your self-confidence. You can consign it. You can give it to somebody who would appreciate it. You can donate it to a worthy cause, and focus on, you only deserve to have what makes you feel happy, what lights you up, that makes you feel more like yourself. And I think if we all got in our closets and said, okay, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel great about my body? There are always going to be certain things that we have in our closets that we buy with the best of intentions, but then we're like, well, that doesn't really work. I find that, when you're like looking in the mirror, you're like, well, I'm not sure. Not sure means no.
Yeah.
Not sure is a hard no. And I think when it's a hell yes, it, but not sure, like that's just a hard no.
You've just made me remember something. I'm going to go and there's something I need to check out.
Good. Yes. I encourage everybody, go in your closet and pull out 5 things right now that you don't love, that you're tolerating, because it's taking away from your energy. It's taking away from your confidence. And you're not at your best when you wear that. And it's just taking up space.
I haven't worn it for a good 2 years. So, and
yes.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to march down there literally and go,
do it. There's another trick I'll share too. I encourage, and it takes a little bit of work to get used to, but flip your hangers around. Your hangers usually face away from you. Flip your hangers around so that they're curved towards you.
Okay.
And then once you wear something, flip the hanger around.
Okay.
That will show you what you're wearing. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to clean out all this stuff. But it helps hey, I'm gravitating towards the same 3 styles.
Yeah.
Buy more of that and get rid of the other stuff. And just know those are going to be my signature silhouettes. Those are things that fit my body, like the dress that you have. You want to have more of that because you put that on and it fits you like a glove and it makes you feel amazing. And when you have more of those and that can be your go-to dress, you don't have to think about it. And that's going to boost your confidence. If you're going to speak or you're going to an event or out to dinner, you're just going to be like, heck yeah, here I am. You're going to be able to show up at your best, not second guessing yourself.
I love that. Yeah. I'm going to go make space for new dresses of the same.
Yes.
Love it. Oh my word. I have loved chatting to you. And obviously I'll share in the show notes, but where can people find you on social media?
Sure. Well, it's on TikTok and Instagram. It's Style by Mary Michele, and Michelle only has 1 L. So Michele. You can also find me on Facebook. You can join our StyleFinder VIP group. We have a lot of fun over there. And then my podcast is Style by Mary Michele, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Love it. I'm going to share that all in the show notes as well. And then I'm going to go follow you on TikTok. That is so cool. I love that.
Are you on TikTok?
I am, but I don't really post. And
you should.
You've inspired me now because if you are rocking it on there, then I actually have no excuse. So I've been thinking about posting more self-love stuff because I did it as my G.I. Jane name and not Selfishly Me. So I'm thinking about changing it and actually just doing it as this brand rather. So you've just inspired me to actually get on there and do it properly.
Do it. Well, I'll be looking for you on there.
Yeah. Instead of just posting reels, I need to do it on TikTok more as well. I think it's more.
Yeah. Important. Yes. Don't forget to take that watermark off.
Oh my word. They're so smart. They are so smart how they did it. And now Instagram is smart too, because now if you save your reel and you go to post it even on your other account, it embeds it on there as well. I was like, oh my word.
There is a website. I'll send it to you, but there's a website that can pull the watermark off of TikTok videos. So you can post them on reels, and a website that you can do the same for your reels. So you can post them on TikTok without the watermark.
Oh, I love it. We're going to chat. We're going to chat offline. Thank you so much. We were chatting earlier and I was saying we found each other in a women in podcasting group, and I don't even know how I ended up in there, but I'm so glad. And you are the first of the guests that we were chatting about. It's so nice and supportive because everyone's like, I want a guest. You can be a guest on mine, and everyone's collabing, but you are the first so far. So I'm so glad that I found you, and then now I can go follow you. And yeah, see, we're even matching. My hair is matching your jacket. I just feel like there's so much alignment. It's just
absolutely. And I'll reach out. I definitely would love to have you as a guest on Style by Mary Michele.
Love to. I will probably be an activewear because this is who I am. But
hey, athleisure wear is a hot trend this spring. So
I'm on trend. I do have a pair of Puma Puma platforms
Ooh,
now that I got the other day. So
love that.
I'll send you the reel I made. You'll be so proud that I actually wore
Ooh,
really good
yes.
fashion, and I'll send it to you so you can see. But I'm like,
I love it.
leisure all the way. So thank you all for listening, and I will see you next week.